Howdy guys, it's Joe here, and like a week ago or so, I was talking about why you should pick a bad character in Overwatch, but today I want to flip the coin and talk about why you should pick a good character in Overwatch, an overpowered character in Overwatch, a top tier character in Overwatch, whatever the heck else you want to call these characters in Overwatch. And let me just get on to these. Personally, I feel like there is a lot of benefit to picking one of these characters, and overall, personally, the game that you can get is very, very far-reaching and can obviously, in a lot of situations, surpass picking a bad character. So with that said, let's just get started. And before we get going, I don't really want to sound like an elitist, like, you have to pick one of these characters, or else you're bad at the game, I hate you, I never want you on my team. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to point out the benefits of picking a top tier. Of course, my last video pointed out the benefits of picking a bad character. So it's up to you to see what goals you want to get, see what bonuses you want to get from either side, and pick from there. Of course, this is all up to you. I'm just saying what I personally experienced from other games, from Overwatch and just from everything, and I just kind of want to get my knowledge from there. But of course, you are the last one to make the decision, so take this video with a grain of salt or however you want to. Now, the first thing that I feel like is very important about the fact of picking a great character is the fact that you can become the best you that you could ever be. Of course, you could always pick a bad character or a worse character or a non-meta character, whoever the heck you think that is, but you'll never be quite as good as if you picked a strong character. You will always be held back simply by the weaknesses of your character. Of course, all the time we do see these outlandish cases with these really bad characters on very good players that do reach amazing heights. But imagine how great they could be doing if they were playing a great character with all their skill, put it together. Sure, they're doing amazing, but think about how much better they could be. Essentially, I feel like not playing a great character is often kind of holding you back. Now, of course, there's the fact that you might want to just play who you love to play, and that is completely fine. I don't really care. Play whoever the heck you want. But if you want to become the best you that you can be, if you want to get as high as you can possibly get, if you want to become as good as you can possibly get and win as much as you can, you obviously want to pick someone that can help you on your goal there. Of course, it might change over the years. Certain characters get strong, certain characters get a little bit weaker. Of course, McCree is a great example, kind of switches around, but still, just switching around, following the meta somewhat, or just following who's pretty good, it can help you become who you want to be. I'd really kind of equate this to the fact of being a pro skier, but let's switch up the situation a bit. What if you were a pro skier, but it happened that one of your poles just wasn't there, or one of the things on your feet just wasn't there, so you had to go down the ramp all the way with just 1 foot. I feel like that's kind of what it is sometimes when playing one of these characters that isn't quite as strong. Of course, you still can do it. If you're skilled enough, you can go for it, you can pull out those plays and carry yourself up, but you just won't be quite as good as if you had the opportunity to go with both. And that's overall how I feel like it is sometimes when playing a character that isn't the best character that you could choose. Of course, you can still pull off quite a bit of good, but I don't feel like you'll ever be able to pull out as much from yourself that you could have if you picked one of the best people in the game. Secondly, and one of my most favorite parts about picking a character that's very good, is the fact that you will have no excuses and you will have to push yourself the most that you possibly can. Now, this is one of the things I like to call the low tier syndrome that I've used myself in the past, some other people have talked about in the past, and just kind of goes on when you're picking a low tier. You kind of just give a lot of excuses for yourself. You're like, well, if I win the game, you know, that's awesome, I won with the low tier. Well, if I lost in the game, it's just because my character sucks, it's not really my fault. And even if you might not be doing that consciously, a lot of times it just kind of subconsciously happens, and it kind of pushes you back just a little bit, at least for myself and for some of my friends. While at the other side of the spectrum, if you pick a top tier, if you pick a great character, or even like a middle tier character, a character that can do pretty well, you will have really no excuses to yourself or to anyone else. If you're getting outplayed because the enemies are better than you. Not because the characters are better, because the characters are the same or worse, but just because you aren't quite as good. It pushes you to become better, and it pushes you to just try to improve at the game. When you're playing a low tier, you always have the thought process, well, I could just switch to this top tier and I'd be doing a lot better. While if you're already playing someone that's the best, you can't switch up. The only thing that you can improve in your situation is yourself, so you're kind of forced to do that, which does help you, and it does push you. It makes you want to go a lot further, and makes you want to push yourself a lot further. At least for me, it does that. Of course, maybe this is just me, but I feel like that's a really great benefit about picking one of these characters, just helping yourself move up the ladder. And now for the final reason to pick one of these characters is one of my favorite quotes from The Art of War. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, and defeated warriors go to war and then seek to win. Now, how I take this, at least for myself in this context, is the fact that if you're picking one of these top tier characters or one of the great characters, that you know that you're going into this game ready to win. You know that you're going into the game trying your best, and you know that you're going to put in all your effort as possible. While on the other hand, sometimes you might be going into the game as a lower tier person and then just trying to win from there, trying to pull out those stops and hoping that you can pull out the game. Now, of course, there are chances that you could win, but I feel like just having the confidence, having the ability, and just having the knowledge that you do have a good chance of winning from playing someone else, it does help you a lot, and that's at least how I equate this to Sun Tzu, and how I do appreciate his quote, at least coming from this context. But anyways, this is just my own silly opinion why you might want to pick up one of these characters, and if you don't agree completely, make sure to tell me down in the comment section down below. Of course, everybody has different opinions, and everyone takes everything a little bit differently from their experiences, from what they know, and just from the personalities, I guess. So make sure to hit me up in that comment section down below. We can talk about it, I guess. I don't really know. Anyways, as always, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment down below that, and any more that you want to. Press subscribe if you want to see more future videos like this, and press that bell button if you want to really subscribe, because that's the real subscribe button. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and as always, have a wonderful day.